YouTubers, it's Kelly here at Whisker Ridge, and I just wanted to do a follow-up on our beginners planting. We did the first step on picking our plants by the packets. You decide what you want to grow, whether it's perennial or an annual. Perennial is the one that you plant once and it comes back every year. Annual is required to plant every year because it dies off in the cold. So we picked our plants we wanted. We picked the types of pots we wanted to grow them in. We discussed the types of soil. So I was having great germination with this Burpee Organic. And then we planted some together. So these Canterbury Bells we planted in here. Look at these beauties. This is amazing. So this is the Burpee pot and the Burpee Organic soil. And these come out in these flex cells. Can you see that moving up as I push the bottom? So that helps you to pop out your little starts. And then there's a tray where you keep it wet under here, and I said even moisture. So this is just about dried up. I'm going to put some more water in it. And so you picked your seeds, you put them in these pots. Now you've got a situation where you have these beauties right here. Look at these cucumbers. And the thing about these is I've been watering from the bottom, and look at all those roots hanging out there. So these have, okay, there's two scenarios. These now have their third and fourth leaf on them, and the stalk is pretty healthy. Now this one has a third and a fourth coming on, so these could go outside. But the thing about it is they've been in here protected from the wind and a little bit from the sun because it comes up and over. Now I need to set these outside for a couple of hours, a few days in a row, and that's called hardening off your seedlings. What you want to do after excuse me, what you want to do after you have gotten them to this point is up pot them. Like there's two growing in this one, pardon me, or you want to directly transplant these to where they're going to live for the season. So for me, we've had some really windy days, so I didn't want to harden off on an extremely windy day. Plus we had storms last night, so I kept them in here, but I am going to set them outside in direct sun, not filtered through the polycarbonate ceilings, and let them get used to the sun, little bit of wind today, and then they'll set out there for 3 hours or so, and I'll bring them back in to be protected. Now, because those need to go outside. So today is April 21st, and I will probably want these out in the ground by the end of the month. It's safe to put them out there. There's no frost danger, but I just want to make sure that they're healthy enough and a strong enough stalk to live. So here, I had some marigolds in here. This one didn't germinate, but these two did. And I had another one in this cell that had two. So what I did was I got this really big pot, because these are the big ones that are going to be, you know, like a couple of inches wide for each bulb. And so I just put two here, and one here in this pot. And I'm going to set these outside and let them get used to the outside. And then I did something called vincas. So I've got some flowers growing. Look at these little weeds in here. These little, they look like microgreens. But when the vincas come up, they have a very big leaf. So I know those are not the vincas. And I'll keep these moist. I did these kind of late. But yeah, I just wanted to catch you guys up. So when you have your plants almost ready to transplant, you need 3 or 4 days in a row where you set them outside 2 to 4 hours to get used to the direct sun, any wind, because in here, even if you've done them on a windowsill or in the garage with the windows, you've protected them for the weeks that they've been growing into small seedlings, and now they've got to fight nature, and they need to get used to that slowly. So you can't just dump them out there. But these are healthy enough, and the roots are coming out. These are the sweet meats I was telling you about. So I'm going to go ahead and transplant these today outside. Those are good to go. And this is a variation. I mean, this is all the MI Gardener Mortgage Lifter. And these are the tomatoes that can get to be 2 pounds each. But you see how flimsy these are. They're not strong enough or mature enough to go outside. They have enough leaves on them, but these right here, these taller ones, I need to up pot those because their roots are hanging out the bottom, and they're going to need a little bit more time in this protected environment. Another week and a half. I want to wait till May 1st, and I don't fertilize at this point because the soil, the organic soil that I had in it, has enough drainage and nutrients. But if your plants stay in these seedling start trays for more than 6 weeks, you may need to fertilize. 6 to 8 weeks, they've probably depleted any nutrients that's naturally in these seed starts. And so you would want to do a fish emulsion or some kind of calcium, magnesium, 10-10-10, but very diluted, because their roots are so raw and so tender that they're going to suck that up, and you don't want too much fertilizer and kill your baby plants. It's like poison. It's like too much candy in a 3-year-old. And then here we have the Supernova, which was this one. I told you was kind of a cross between a cherry tomato and aroma. So you're going to get that concentrated juice like a cherry tomato, but the fullness, thickness of the aroma. And then these beauties here are the Engelhart cherry tomatoes, which are the yellow cherry style. So those are going to need a little bit more time, but I'm going to spend some time up potting these bigger ones, because whenever you get to roots hanging out, you need a little more room for them to grow. So I'm going to work on that today, and I'll update you once I transplant the plants. I just wanted to check in and see how you guys are doing, do a beginner's video about why it's important to harden off your baby seedlings before they go into the ground, because they need to be strong enough and used to the elements before you just leave them outside to fend for themselves. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's hours later. You can tell the sun has moved here, but I had some things I had to take care of. So I've got my starter soil and these bigger pots, and I believe that I bought 10 of these at the 5-quarter store. I know that Walmart, Amazon, they have all of these medium-sized ones, and this is the equivalent of like a cup and a half. So if you're thinking about a measuring cup, it's about a cup and a half, almost 2 cups of dirt for each one. So I want to get the tomatoes in this because, like I was saying, we don't want to put them out there that tiny. They can't fend for themselves. They need a healthier stock. Now, I realized that I could have started these seeds sooner and I would have bigger plants, but my growing season and the frost dates and things, they'll be harvested in the 3 full months that they're out there. So just consider your growing time and how long it takes for them to mature and have 4 leaves on them and a thick stalk. And that fuzz on the side of the tomato plants, very important. Some of those didn't have any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these up. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. And these are very soft, very plexy. So when it's time to take them out, you just squish that up and pull it right out of there. You don't want it too firm, too difficult to get them out of there, because then you're pinching and pulling on those sensitive little fibers on the roots, and that's no good. So I'm not pulling them all the way to the top. Man, I drop everything when I'm with y'all. Hang on a second. Truly not this clumsy. Well, maybe a little bit. But anyways, as I was saying, you don't want it completely full, because you've got to get those roots tucked in there and everybody nestled. You've got to have room for that. So halfway, not quite 3/4 of the way. And you can put them in there. I'll actually show you that. So let's get one of those. These were the really furry ones that had this baby set of leaves. So this starter set of leaves, you actually can pick those off and bury it to where my finger is, halfway up. So all this fuzz, this thick fuzz, can be below the ground. So let me move my stuff around here. Ooh, that is heavy. Heavy, heavy. Okay, got what we're working with. So I'm going to put my fingers on either side of this, holding on to the bottom part of the stalk. Squeeze it and gently squeeze both sides and gently pull it out like that. And in one of these empty ones, you put it all the way to the bottom and fill it to this first line with dirt. So I've got it in there. It kind of flopped to the side, no problem. Pull it up, tuck that dirt around. Oh Lord, I'm not in the view. Pull it back over to the side. Really push that dirt in there, because you really want it to be protected. Now that I've got it pushed down in there, I'm going to fill it back up to that line there, because it's not quite up there. Yeah. So I've got it in there, and I'm really going to press this dirt in there like that. So this other one, I had dirt in. That's okay. We're gonna find another one. All right. So we were saying this one is smaller, much smaller. I'm gonna pick these leaves off, very gently pick these leaves off, and then squeeze this like this and pluck the whole section of dirt out. Now, I have this much dirt in here, so I'm just gonna push it over to the side and push, and push that dirt to make it stand up. Pushing all that dirt in there. So I had some in that one, unlike the other one that was empty, and now to top it off. Get it standing up here. There we go. It's a little leaning. It's okay. It'll go towards the light. So, when you have your plants, this one's kind of fallen over. I hit it a few minutes ago. When you have your plants with these bottom ones, you want to pick these off because we are putting the soil up to this point. We want to encourage the stalk to get bigger, to get stronger, and these leaves that are halfway down or 3/4 of the way down are just going to rot in the soil. So we just pick those off. So here I go again. I'm going to put my fingers on either side, break those roots up, pull the whole plug out, put it completely down in this empty one. I'm holding it with my finger here, and I'm going to put the soil all the way around. Okay. Got it balanced on there. I'm just making sure that it's pushed in all around the sides. Now it's standing upright, and I just want to top it off because those leaves were right here. So I need to bring that soil all the way up there to encourage that stalk to grow stronger. So I've put this much on there, and there you have it. So super easy to up pot. And you're going to do this for all of the ones that have this first set of starter leaves. Now see this one, how young it is, and it's flopping over. I don't want to pull these off because there's not very much room between those starter leaves and what's grown above it. It needs more time, and that's okay. These were late germinations. Maybe they didn't have enough sun. Maybe I didn't have the heat mats on these enough when we had the cooler nights, whatever situation. But this sometimes is the strongest one that you get, the prolific provider. So who knows? So I'll go ahead and do these, and then in a few days we can check on the progress of these up potted ones. But before I go, I was showing you these earlier, and I plucked some out and put them outside. I went ahead and transplanted them because they are strong enough. They've got the bigger roots. And I have two different places that I'm going to put my cucumbers. These are the Sumter cucumbers, which are really good for pickles and amazing for the tzatziki salads and the Greek dressings and things. But I went ahead and put them. So I have this raised bed that I put 7 in. And I have these wire pieces that I can let them grow up. This was my carrots, 2 different types of carrots in this one. And then I put the others in here. And I chose to leave these together because they were so close together and their roots were so intertwined. I didn't want to disturb that. So I left, you'll see, 2 together, 2 together. And that's okay. We'll just get more in that one. So that's where I put those. And I've got to pull all those little microgreens because here are my carrots. And then I have these other little microgreen looking things growing in here. And my strawberries, not a lot of action going on there. This was a type of sage that I had last year, and another type of sage. So we got some stuff going on. But give you a scan. Some of these will be up potting. But we're doing good. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.